everybody, and welcome to yet another build video, and this is going to be for my Magicka Templar. Now, I've been playing this a lot. This is probably my favourite class at the moment to play. A lot of customization available to this class. And this is going to be a very, very updated version of Komodo Dragon. I haven't actually, at this point, decided a name for the build, so just go with whatever it says in the title, basically. But call it what you like, I don't care. It's the build itself that's really, really frisky and strong. Very, very nice damage, solid survivability, all-round stats are gorgeous. So, let's start this off with the stats. I feel that might be the best one to go with. Our stats are as follows. 38.5k Magicka as an Argonian. That's pretty high. 29k health and 17k stamina. Magic recovery sitting on 1.8k. Obviously, that is with a bit of extra from before. You could lower that if you so wish. And our spell damage unbuffed is 2k, though you might as well call that 2.3k because there is a set that is 100% uptime that's going to give the flat damage on that. We're in light armor, so our crit is 42%, but don't let light armor fool you. Our tankiness is extremely high, higher than anything in heavy would actually get unless it used the two sets I'm using. Crit resist 2.1k. I also have a couple of sturdies, which I'll show you in a sec. We are still a vampire. This is the only class that I am happy being a vampire anymore. And I really, really like it for the AoE. I like the bats tremendously. I think bats is very, very nice to use as a Templar and just works so perfectly with jabs. Get that bats up, get the jabs up. Your AoE damage is so high, so much control, and it's very, very powerful. Our boon then, the mage. Yeah, I mean, you can't really go wrong with this one. It's a nice bit of flat stats. I preferred going with the mage and then one infused recovery ring, which I'll show you in a sec, over just going 8-tro. I think the overall stats are slightly better and it does work very well. You could also go apprentice, but I like having the flat stat pool, especially for no CP. Our max stat food is obviously tri-stat food, and then our potions are, as per usual, tri-pots. I think the stam return from those is too useful. Even as an Argonian, I well believe it is worth the slots. Okay, that's the easy stuff. So, sets are as follows. Everything is triglyphed. Every single piece is triglyphed because stamina is your lifeblood as a Templar. We're using 2 pirate skeleton on the monster set, both in pen. You can no longer cleanse the Mind of Defile that this gives, but it gives you major protection, very high uptime in 1vx PvP, battlegrounds, etc. The physical resist is great, and as a set on a Templar where you overheal so heavily, it works just perfectly, because who cares about the Mind of Defile? You already heal so high, and then it makes you tanky as hell on light armor for just the 2 pieces. If you do choose to run a different set, your next options are going to be Bloodspawn for tankiness again. Personally, I don't think this is good. Or Scoria for a damaging route. It is good. I don't think it's worth it personally. I think I already have enough damage to kill what's going to die anyway. And I do think that it's a bit risky. The difference in survivability between Scoria and Pirate is just gigantic. So, in the end, it is your choice. Obviously, you don't have to run the same setup, but that is what I choose to use. Next set is 5 Spell Power Cure. That is going to be spread across your armor, and there's going to be 1 sturdy on those pieces. Again, all triglyphed. That is 4 pieces only on the front bar. The 5th piece comes on our back bar in the form of a Nirnhone sword with the Magicka steel glyph. Again, all tri-statted and all impem. Our next 5-piece set is Wizard's Repose State, which is going to be another sturdy here. That's your 2 sturdy with a tri-stat glyph. And again, we're going to go for the jewelry at this point with only 4 on the front bar. 5 pieces on the back bar. Same set as our previous structure. That's going to give us the 5 pieces of both sets on the back bar. Our shield for Wizard Repose State is sturdy and Magicka enchanted. There's no point in any other enchant. And then our jewelry is Arcane Mag Recovery, and Infused Magicka Recovery. That works beautifully. I think that's good to go. If you do feel you're over-sustaining, you could always go Arcane here. Your other option, if you do choose to do that, is even going for all tri-stat glyph for even more stamina. Like I said, only thing that kills you as a Templar is lack of stamina. So, by all means, you could tri-stat that. I'm just comfortable on the stamina. I don't feel I need it very often. No CP, it would sometimes be nice, but for the most time, I think you're okay. If you don't know what those sets do quickly, Spell Power Cure gives you Magicka spell damage. Absolutely perfect. All of that's on the front bar for the damage. And then on the back bar, we already proc this. When you hit a friendly target that is at 100% health, you have a 50% chance to give them Major Courage for 10 seconds, increasing their weapon and spell damage by 258. So, a few questions I always get asked about this. Can I run Lich instead? Yes, Lich would be good. It's not as good. It's a little less damage, marginally more sustained, but it overall is slightly worse stats. And then in exchange, it's also going to have not 100% uptime because it's got that delay. And during that time, it's a bit risky if you get cost poison, for instance. But more importantly, why is Spell Pack Cure better? It buffs the group. Of course, if you don't have the DLC, then you may not have a choice. Can I run the new DLC set from Cloud Rest, Tom? No. So the reason the new DLC set is worse is the perfected version is the slightly better stats. The problem with the perfected version is the Magicka bonus, which puts it slightly above Spell Power Cure, which gives it the same stats but more uptime. Well, to be honest, Spell Power Cure already has nearly 100% uptime, but the other one is very, very high uptime. It's never going to go down at all. But anyway, the extra Magicka on the perfected version is on the 5-piece. It cannot go there because it's on your back bar. You'll be less stats on your front bar. Wizard Post State is minor maim. Can I replace that? No, too good to miss. Front bar then is going to be Willpower, a Nirnhone sword with weapon and spell damage, and a sharpened sword with whatever the hell trait you want. Doesn't really matter because it's barely ever going to proc. I use Stamina still, again, for a bit of extra sustain. Trifood, as I mentioned, Tripods, as I mentioned, Vampire and Argonian, definitely a choice of race here. You don't really want to go for a different race. If you are a Breton or High Elf, you're going to need to run a Stamina Recovery Glyph instead of a Magic Recovery Glyph. But even then, you are going to notice the difference. It's going to be a lot harder to play. Skills are as follows. Big changes available on our skills. There's 2 skills that are pretty different at this point. So number 1 is going to be our first change skill. This is Race Against Time. Bend space and time around you to gain Major Expedition for 3 seconds and Minor Force for 12 seconds, increasing your movement speed by 30% and your crit damage by 10%. It also reduces the cost of sprint for 3 seconds. There is no aspect of this that's bad at all, to be honest, because reduce of sprint with the movement speed for 3 seconds allows you to kite by casting that every 3 seconds and sprinting, which is great. You've already got Purified to give you mobility. The crit damage, more importantly, is perfect because you've got a lot of things that are channel damage, overtime damage, and they are going to feed well with the crit buff. You've also got passives for crit buff, another 10% there. So this is a great skill. It's cheap, it's powerful. Hello, Blobs. Can I use the other morph of this? No, you don't want to get interrupted. I strongly advise Race Against Time. Jabs is going to be a spammable, obviously. Nice heal, nice AoE damage. Mage Light for the extra damage and the front bar crit if your Vampire's Bane is ever down. Purifying Light for burst, obviously, and Structured Entropy. I do not want Degeneration there. I don't think that it's worth using. Now, another question I could see myself getting here is, can I run a Destruction Staff on the front bar? Again, you can. Again, it's going to give you worse overall damage. Why? Because Fire buffs single damage, Lightning buffs AoE. So either you buff your spammable or you buff your Power of the Light. You cannot buff both. And it is really, really noticeable in your burst and sustained damage when you go one staff or the other that Jeweled is the way to go here, straight down the tracks. Even with Ellie Drain, this Jeweled structure feels better. Front bar ulti is Soul Assault. Absolutely love this because, let's be honest, like 90% of Cyrodiil is Stamina Nightblades. And let's be honest, not a single Stamina Nightblade wants to be Soul Striked. Perfect ult, does the job beautifully. Bye-bye Nightblades. Back bar then is going to be a Total Dark. If you don't know what that is, watch my other previous Templar builds. This build is insane. Sorry, this skill is insanely, ridiculously strong. Probably even nerf worthy. Very powerful indeed. And that is our CC. We have no knockdown CC. This does absolutely fine as a CC, not a problem. Vampire's Bane, Big Boy Dot. It's also going to give us crit on the back bar when we cast that. It would also give it on our front bar if it's on a target. But I think that it's never going to have 100% uptime, so that's why Mage Light is still worth it for crit. Either way, it's great for a dot. Honor the Dead is the heal. It's actually got a small buff. It gives the return a little earlier now, which is great. And then Purify is obvious. Extended Ritual Morph. And Channel Focus, again, obvious for resistance. Back bar ulti, Devouring Swarm. No brainer. It's my main ulti. Great damage, great pressure. And with the jabs, it's just perfect for AoE. It's very good. I really like that combo. Bats to jabs. Most of my kills come from that. Now, there is another skill worth mentioning here, because as soon as you go into more than 1 man, as soon as you're even 2 man, you want to change one skill. You want to go in Psijic, and instead of Vampire's Bane, you're going to run Time Freeze. You could also change Total Dark for that. I wouldn't advise it. Total Dark's great for moving around. It gives you a lot of income and healing when you're moving range. It also gives you more control if you get caught by a Sork, a Mage Nightblade, anything at ranged at all. You're going to need a range CC. Total Dark does that. But in AoE groups, Time Freeze is crazy good. I'd advise the Instacast Morph. There is obviously a problem in running channels. Again, in PvP, I'm not a big fan of it. The other morph is good as well. It gives a heal debuff, but like this is pretty damn sexy. It is a huge AoE CC. It's absolutely awful to CC break. So if you do catch a group with this and then you ult dump them with whatever ults, they're in big trouble. Very, very nice in a group, and that will often go on my bar. In Battlegrounds, I still choose to run Vampire's Bane. It's not bad to run Time Freeze. I just like maintaining the crit on my back bar for the Honor the Dead because it is noticeable in Battlegrounds when your heals and all are worse. Alright, so I think we've covered most of that stuff. What am I missing? Anything apart from CP? Any questions I'd like to be asked? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Okay, finally our CP then. Now this is prepared. This is definitely right. The blue tree I've not entirely played with, but it should be dead close. 61 Warlord for break free. We no longer run Sprinter because we've already got that from our skill, so no point there. It's complete waste. 76 in Arcanist. Mag Sustain is your key here. Stack it up high. 40 in Tumbling for the dodge and 73 block. We've upped that a bit and we've lowered Tumbling a bit. Why? Because we can purify it into this movement speed, and so we're roll dodging a little bit less because our mobility is flat out better. Blue tree, 27 in Blessed. I like the extra healing there. I don't think you're worth giving that up for damage, but if you're over healing, feel free to. 56 Elfborn for the crit, and the crit heals and crit damage. 37 Elemental Defender flat damage, 34 Spell Erosion. Why are these so low? Because we need variety in these trees. 40 in Master Arms for direct. That's our Power of the Light. Some of our ultimate choices that we may slot there. Initial cast of Vampire Bane. The big one here is Power of the Light. It is worth stacking points into here. The damage is noticeable. And then Height and Thaumaturge, 56. That's going to give us all of our sustained pressure damage. If you so wished, you could obviously move some points out of Master Arms into there. I just like stacking Master Arms because I think Burst is where the Templar lacks. How do I get that Burst? Answer, bigger Power of the Light. Red Tree, 66 Ironclad to reduce direct damage. 32 in Resistant, that gives us Resilient. It's not worth going for Reinforced here because it's too many points away. 43, 43, 20. A bit of a different structure for the Templar. Why? Don't need dot pressure as much. We still need some because there's sometimes where we're not going to purify it enough. But Purify is going to deal with a lot of the dot damage. You can lower that quite a lot. And in exchange, I stack it into Hardy and Elemental Defender to reduce the instant damage. 9 in Expert Defender for the light attacks. Wouldn't go more, wouldn't go less. And 37 Quick Recovery for the heals. What other questions could I get asked here? Blobs, can I change the skill bar, the gear, etc.? Obviously, this is just my build. Feel free to adjust it accordingly. If you don't like the build, you're obviously welcome to use a different one out there. I strongly believe this is going to be one of the strongest you're going to get. Another question you may get is why no execute? Less and less am I convinced by this skill. It's just not very good. It really doesn't give you enough damage. It's pretty buggy, and when you cast it, a bit of a delay. And too often I have somebody just literally out heal that. So I prefer just go for the flat damage. And I think Race Against Time is brilliant. It's so worth using on this build. It really makes a difference. That should be everything covered. So good luck with the build. That is my Mag Templar build. I've got a lot of questions keep being asked about Mag Sword build, Mag Decay build. Both of those are already on my channel. Just check that out. Mag Nightblade is also on my channel as well. A very slim chance I might do a Destro Staff Mag Nightblade, but I don't see it. I'm not really enjoying Mag Nightblade at the moment. It's a bit ugly to play because of snares. We'll see. Mag Decay may get another update. I'll see about that. Mag Talk is definitely finalized, and Mag Warden, obviously we have the health build, which is very nasty, and especially in a duo. Pretty deadly indeed, but again, we may look at making another one there. We'll see. Good luck with the build, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.